Hello, everybody. Based on the results of this quiz, I think it's a good idea that we do a requiz on Monday, which will be due at 11:59. But first, I would like you to make corrections to your first quiz by following along with this video to make sure you understand the expectations. So here you're graphing equations whose solutions form lines using a table of values. On IXL, you were given values for x to use. Here you can use values that fit into the graph above. I think it's usually a good idea if you use x equals 0 as one of your points. So if x is 0, you have -4 times 0 plus 2. In order of operations gives us 2. So 0, 2. And then 1, -4 times 1 is -4. -4 plus 2 is -2. And then we should do a third point to make sure that it still fills the shape of a line. So let's try x equals 2. -4 times 2 is -8. -8 plus 2 is -6. Okay? And you could even try -1. You could try a half. But these points fit a nice line. And then you should use a ruler. I can't use the ruler on my iPad, but you should use a ruler. And then notice I put the arrows all the way at the edge of the graph paper. Okay, so number 2, we make our table of values. So we're just finding some solutions to the equation. X equals 0, so 0 minus 2 is -2. So that's 0, -2. Let's try -1 just for the heck of it. -1 minus 2 is -3. And then +1. 1 minus 2 is -1. So we go 1, -1. And then you could even do more just to make sure. So 2 would be 2 minus 2 equals 0. So you're generating solutions to the equation. And there you go. And I just want to remind you, that means you could pick any point on this line and it would be a solution. So if we picked here, that's 4, 2. Does that work? 4 minus 2 equals 2. True statement. So any point on that line, when you extend it, will still be a solution to the equation. Number 2, 3x plus 4. So we have, let's see, 0 would be 3 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 1, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. Now that goes off the graph paper, so that's okay. But now let's go the opposite direction so that we fill in on the graph paper. So 3 times -1 is -3. -3 plus 4 is 1. And then you can see, you could actually continue this pattern of going down 3 and left 1. And you would actually see you would generate the next solution, which is -2, -2. We'll talk about that pattern this week, which is called the slope. So there's number 3. And then number 4, so 0, -2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. -2 times 1 is -2, plus 1 is -1. -2 times 2 is -4, plus 1 is -3. And let's just do -1 for the heck of it. -2 times -1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And we can graph these ordered pairs that we just made. And you'll know if you made a mistake because you'll get a point that doesn't fit in the line. So that's a good way for you to check as well. Okay, and number 5. So 0, comma 3 is a point, because negative 3/4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. Now, if you picked 1, you would see you have negative 3/4 plus 3, which is 2 1/4. That's fine. I'm going to give you a little hint or a tip. Pick a multiple of the denominator. So watch what happens. Negative 3/4 times 4, which is 4 over 1, and then plus 3. So negative 3/4 times 4, here, I'll just do that up here, is negative 12/4, which is negative 3. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Okay? When you pick a multiple of that denominator, you actually end up with an integer answer, which is really helpful. So that's 4, 0. We have 1 and 2/4. 2 1/4. So that's here. So it still fits in that line. I'm not going to pick 8 because that'll go off the graph paper. Let's pick negative 4. So negative 3/4 times negative 4 is, so this becomes 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So negative 4, 6. And then that fits on here. So this one was a little tricky, I thought. But you could do this with decimals, and that works as well. And number 6, I'll pick, let's do negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So negative 1 would be negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So let's fill in those ordered pairs. Connect the line. Whoops, that wasn't very good, but you get the idea. You guys are using a ruler, of course, or a straight edge. You could fold a piece of paper in half and use that, but I'm looking for straight lines when you upload these as a test. Okay, for questions 7 and 8, graph the intercepts. So if the x-intercept is 5, now remember that's the ordered pair 5, 0. The x-intercept is when the y equals 0, so that's 5, 0. The y-intercept is 0, 3. And then you connect those with a ruler. And that's the line. And then x-intercept of negative 2, so remember that's negative 2, 0. And then we have 0, negative 4. And then we graph that line. And that, whoops, the line goes on forever in both directions. Okay. Yes, it is possible for a line to have only one intercept. Can you picture what kind of line that would be? Yes, it could be a horizontal or a vertical line. And we will look at those sometime next week. Now, for 9 through 12, we had to find the intercepts first. So remember, to get an x-intercept, you let y equal 0. So x plus 2 times 0 equals negative 2. 2 times 0 is 0, of course, so that's x equals negative 2. That cancels. So the x-intercept is negative 2, 0. And then the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So plug in 0 for x, and then solve the equation for y. So then you get divided by 2, y equals negative 1. And then graph the line with a ruler. Okay, number 10, so the x-intercept, we're going to let y equal 0. Simplify, 3 times 0 is 0, so it cancels. Divide by 2, x equals negative 3/2, which we know is negative 1.5. And then the y-intercept, so let x equals 0. 0 plus 3y is 3y. Divide both sides by 3, y equals negative 1. And straight edge, of course, to make the line. Okay, and I believe we have one more page. Okay, so for the x-intercept, let's let y equal 0, so x equals -3. The y-intercept is when x equals 0, 0 plus y equals -3. So they're both -3. Graph them and connect. And then the last one, let's get the x-intercept. So let y equal 0. 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 2. So 2, 0. And then the y-intercept, let x equal 0. So -2y equals 10. Divide both sides by -2. Y equals -5. And then connect. So there you go. You can use these notes on your Requiz, which you can click on next. Have a great day. Email your teacher if you have any questions whatsoever.